Our environment changed. Scientists believe our ancestors changed too. They had been creatures who spent most of their time in trees, like chimps and orangutans today. But as their forests shrank, some of them developed the trait that we take for granted: bipedalism, walking on two legs. This is one of the defining characteristics of humans. But how did bipedalism develop, and why?
Bipedalism is such an unusual trait. There's no other mammal that habitually walks on two legs like we do.
Because it's unique, it's hard to figure out why it happened. There are a lot of theories.
One of them is that they stood up to be able to see over tall grass. Another theory, they stood up to be able to pick fruits off of the low branches of trees, the way chimpanzees do today. Another theory states that they stood up to cool more efficiently so that we don't have as much sun beating on so much of our body.
And I think the most compelling idea, the most compelling hypothesis is that it saved us energy.
And energy is crucial to survival. Who was our earliest ancestor? Then, on their 26th expedition in 2001, they found a smashed, misshapen skull around 6 million years old. They called it Sahelanthropus chidensis. There were no bones apart from the skull. Could it be a human ancestor or just another ape? The skull was so deformed, it was difficult to tell. Michelle would have to reconstruct it. Discoveries like this are changing the way we see human evolution. Scientists used to have a simple idea. The growth of open grasslands forced our ancestors out of the trees. They became bipeds, and in short order, brain size increased. Human evolution took off. We were on our way to becoming human. A skilled craftsman, Homo erectus had evolved a new type of intelligence. But his bigger brain came with hidden costs. Modern brains consume 25% of our body's energy.
Our brain happens to be the hungriest organ in the body. And in order to support a brain our size, we need lots of calories.
With his big brain and body, a Homo erectus like Turkana boy needed more nutrition from his savanna environment.
Turkana boy, had he grown to adulthood, would probably stood around 6 feet tall. This is a big, strong creature that would have had a huge energy budget. One can satisfy an energy budget like that by eating plants, but you have to eat a lot of plants.
But there's one food that can supply the nutrients a growing brain and body need. And Africa was filled with it.
The one high-quality resource that's probably most important for the evolution of the genus Homo is meat, and meat byproducts such as brain and marrow and fat. They're high in protein, they're high in calories, and they're easy to digest.
It's a controversial idea, and we'll never know for sure if Turkana boy could speak. But there are other clues to his intelligence. The stone tools he left behind.
Homo erectus made tools like this hand axe here. It's been chipped extensively on both sides. The point enables one to do piercing tasks. The heavy bit here can be used for cracking bone or chopping wood. It's a very, very versatile tool and a sharp one.
It may not look like much, but the stone hand axe marks the birth of technology. New discoveries are revealing how, from these humble beginnings, we took over the planet eventually replacing other ancient humans who were already living there, Homo erectus and the Neanderthals. Homo erectus appeared on the African plains almost 2 million years ago. They were the first ancestors who had bodies like ours. They were hunter-gatherers and tool makers, beings who lived in social groups and cared for each other. The most famous Homo erectus is the fossil called Turkana-boy.
Well, Turkana-boy and his ancestors, they represent a threshold. They represent that point in our evolution when we weren't quite fully a human, but we were no longer an ape.
It was probably Homo erectus, almost 2 million years ago, who first started to leave Africa. Ever since, Africa has been the engine of our evolution, pumping out wave after wave ancient humans who populated Europe and Asia. Settling in far-off places, they developed in their own special ways. An early wave gave rise in Indonesia to the extraordinary hobbit, perhaps a type of dwarf Homo erectus. Another wave took Homo erectus all the way to China, where fossil remains have been dated to over 700,000 years ago. Soon after, another wave left Africa, this time heading for Europe. This was the species that would one day give rise to the Neanderthals.